Hi, it's Anne, and boy, have I been gone for a long time. I'm really excited to be back though, and I'm so excited to share my December plan with me video with you guys. I know that we're already a few days into December, but I hope that you can still be inspired by my setup. So for this month, I decided to go with a mountain and kind of starry sky theme, and this is actually inspired from my 2017 December setup, which was my very first video on this channel. So I'm really excited to kind of pay tribute to that and celebrate this milestone. For the colors, I decided not to go with watercolors because ARTEZA was kind enough to send me this huge huge box of 60 highlighters, and I figured since maybe not everyone has watercolors or aquarels available to them, I really wanted to do something similar with the same kind of effect as watercolors, but using highlighters instead. So this set comes with 6 different colors, and you have 2 different sized nibs in each color. But you have one slightly bigger one and one slightly smaller one. Which is super handy. I actually really enjoy using these highlighters. I feel like they're nice and saturated, and you get a nice variety of colors in this set. If there's one thing that I can, that bugs me a little bit, is the size of the packet, because in my experience highlighters they last a very long time, and a set of 60, I feel like the ink might dry up before I have a chance to use it up. So I really wish that they had this in a smaller pack. But outside of that, I have no remarks on this set. I love all of the colors, and they don't seem to bleed through the page at all. There's a slight ghosting if you really look on the opposite side, but I mean that's to be expected really from a market like this, and it's nothing that I feel bugs me too much. However, for this setup, I wanted a more pastel-y feel, and I also want to use them kind of like watercolors. So what I did was I took a water brush. You can use any paintbrush with just a little bit of water. You don't need a water brush. And what I did was I just kind of scribbled the marker on top of a plastic palette. You can use a porcelain plate or whatever you have in your home, and then I just dissolved the ink with some water and I used it as a watercolor. ARTEZA was also kind enough to supply me with a 10% coupon to share with you guys, and all of the information about that will be in the description box down below. Their coupon is valid until December 31st, so the rest of this month you have 10% off the ARTEZA website using the code ANKEXART2. Again, all of the information will be in the description box down below, along with some affiliate links. So if you want to pick something up from ARTEZA website and still support this channel directly, feel free to use those links that are in the description box. Moving forward, you can see me using the blue, the purple and the pink for the sky. And I also decided to bring some pizzazz to my cover page, and I took out my Gansai Tambi gold watercolors and just added a pop of gold in the moon and the stars. To finish this whole thing off, I also took my Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen and added about 1,000 white dots in the sky to kind of look like snow or stars or galaxy-ish stuff. Yeah. Call it whatever you want. I love the effect of this. Up next, I have my calendar layout, and I decided to keep this super duper simple. So I did these kind of circles. I freehanded them, so they're not perfect circles, but they're round, so it's close enough for me. Then I just added the mountain doodles inside and drew out my calendar grid. For the font of the month, I'm just using my normal cursive handwriting, and I am using the kind of faux calligraphy hack where you just add a thicker line on each downstroke that you make with the pen while you're writing, and that way it looks like calligraphy, but it's really not, because I don't know how to do calligraphy, so yeah. Busted. I am also using the same technique with the markers here, where I just scribble the marker on top of my plastic palette and then add some water and use it as a watercolor. For the stripes where I'm gonna put the dates in the calendar, I decided to switch things up a little bit. So instead of doing one color throughout the entire spread, I decided to alternate between the 3 colors that I'm using. So I have 2 rows of blue, 2 rows of purple, and 2 rows of pink. And I actually really like the way this turned out. I think it's super cute. Next up is the simplest spread of all. It's my brain dump page, and I decided to keep it super basic. I just added a small circle in the top left corner and 1 small circle in the bottom right corner, and added in the mountains within those circles. And then I just made the simplest border around the whole spread. It kind of frames it nicely, but I still have a lot of space to mess around with, and that's exactly what I need from this spread. Next up is my expense tracker and my budget envelope system spread. The spread remains the same as it always has. This layout is really working for me, so there are some tweaks in the design, but the functionality is still the same as it was when I started bullet journaling. If you want more information as of how I use this spread, I will link a video in the description box down below. It's called Economy and Finance Ideas for your bullet journal, and in that video I explain step by step exactly how I set this up and how I use it throughout the month. So if you're interested in seeing how this works, along with a bunch of other economy and finance ideas for your bullet journal, feel free to check that link down below, and I just take you through it all. If you're curious as of what paper I'm using, I am using my own 170 GSM dot grid paper. This month I decided to go with the 5mm dot grid. I also have the 3.5mm dot grid, and those are available for purchase in my Etsy store, and I will link that in the description box as well, if you're interested in checking that out. Last but not least, we have the weekly spread for the first week of December, and I decided to try out the kind of time blocking thing that's been trending lately. I used to do this years ago, so I'm really excited to kind of revisit this and see how I like it now. However, I still want that space to write if I have any appointments or commitments on a certain day. So the box at the top of each column is for just writing the date along with any, anything that I need to do that day. And then the rest of the space is just 24 hours, and I can block in what I'm gonna do at what time. To the right on this spread, I also added in a small box for my weekly goals, a box for my tasks, and also at the very bottom I wrote a small section for next week if there's anything that I need to transfer or think about, or just remember about the week that is up and coming. And that is actually it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this setup just as much as I enjoyed making it. If you have any questions or requests on what you want to see on my channel, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will do my very best to make that happen for you guys. So without further ado, I hope you have a nice day or night or evening or morning or whatever it is while you're watching this, and I will see you next week. Thank you for watching and happy planning. Bye!